Hello and welcome to Survived Unexpected with your host Frank Pacino and my two partner in crimes, Amanda Bryant and James Hansen. And today we also have a special guest named Danny Pete. And this is his favorite Survivor season, correct?
Absolutely, and it should be yours too.
uh, so he really wanted to join us and talk to us about this season. He's here to talk to us about the season as a whole and the last 6 episodes where we cover from all the way to the 10 to 15, including the reunion. Amanda really wanted to watch the reunion, so we watched the reunion.
Yes, iconic.
Are you
But
serious?
Yes.
please follow us on any of our social medias, our podcast locations. That'd mean a lot to us. Give us a like, subscribe. So, all right, Danny, what makes this season your favorite season?
That's what I've been dying to hear. Yeah.
I don't know. For me, it's just Survivor Marquesas is like core Survivor memories for me. Like, it's just a certain feeling you get. And I think everyone that's a true Survivor fan has that one or two, maybe one or two seasons where when you watch it, it's just a different feeling. Literally, my favorite color was magenta because of the merge buff for like a while in middle school. Like, I just have vivid memories of watching Vecepia win, and it's like I had watched it from the beginning, but it's when it really grabbed me. And I think as time went on, I already had like the love for it, and then to see it not be respected as much as it should be, and to see Vecepia not be respected as much as she should be, like hardened my love for it. And then why I fight when I talk about it, like fight so hard to get people to realize it's really good. And I think it's one of the first seasons you really start to see gameplay evolve, as far as like flip-flopping, people switching, different groups working with one another. It's not so much just like one tribe against each other and against the other until they're gone. So yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of reasons, but it's a really good season, and I think it doesn't get the credit it deserves.
So going off what you said, like I don't have the same nostalgia. I watched it live, but I was also like 7 years old when it came on. So like I can remember it vividly, like but not like in total like details, like watching it. But like going back as a Survivor super fan who's seen all these seasons, I do agree that it is the first season where we really see like great strategy and stuff, and I love that. And I think
we get rocks. What else could you ask for? We get
exactly.
rocks.
And Vecepia is such a fucking underrated winner. Like she will never get the respect she deserves. Like
she was great. She was flip-flopping back when flip-flopping was a bad thing. Like when people first started doing it, and then they tried to use her religion as a means to like shame her for doing it. And I mean, you have people like Shan today that are outright Christians or whatever your religion is. But you're playing Survivor. That's what you're there to do. And I feel like she was shamed for it, where today, if she played that way, she would be applauded.
Like they shouldn't bring your personal like beliefs into like the game of Survivor, because it's a game that's made to deceit and backstab and lie to people. So the fact that they attacked her like personal character for it.
It was a different world back then, though.
It was, though.
There's a lot of parts of Marquesas and some of the other seasons prior to that where, like, homophobia is, like, Rudy, the way he talks about Richard Hatt at some points in previous seasons. And then we have moments in this season where Pascal calls Sean a brother. And that's, like, if you did that today, you just can't. The world's changed, Yeah. So it's just a different world. So she would have probably thrived in a today's Survivor game, which
we discussed it earlier with Rob was kind of being upfront about John's
Rob was pretty
sexuality. Yeah. So and not saying anything bad about Boston Rob. It's just the times are totally different, and talk like that was more acceptable now. Even though it still was offensive, it was still more widely acceptable than it is nowadays. If you can't say some of the stuff they get on the show back then.
Like you're saying too, like Boston Rob, when he said that too, he also came across very like passive aggressive, which kind of like it's a little like immature of him. But I mean, it was a different time. But you do like Danny said, we do see some of like the homophobia and a little bit like of racism in the early seasons, and instead of how it's dealt with today, it kind of just gets glossed over. But
on the flip side of the coin, in Marquesas specifically, you also get to see good moments. Like when I was rewatching the last 6 episodes, like Pascal and Sean going on that reward together, and to see that great moment that they had.
That was awesome.
So you do kind of get to see how people from at that time very different worlds do have those moments where they came together. But of course,
I think
the other side of it too.
Episode 10 and 11 was highlighted by the rewards. Not much happened in those 2 episodes, I would say. I say the 2 rewards in those episodes were what carried the episode with Sean and Pascal in 10, and in 11 you get Nalia and Pascal on the yacht.
Oh, and they get that insanely great reward.
Yeah. And then she comes. My favorite is when she comes back and she's like, "Hey, you guys want to suck on my mitt?"
Yes,
I would have spit that thing in her face.
Yes, I agree.
The lack of self-awareness of like I feel like in older Survivor seasons, the self-awareness, the lack of it went to the extent of I don't even care if I win. Like the general at one point was like, I've said what I need to say. I'm not going to say anymore. Nalia's like, oh, my hair, my skin is so soft. Like, I don't want to hear that. I'm scooping coconut and scooping dirt out of my ass. You know what I mean? Like,
the audacity of her to bring
I think that the rewards is what helped, because if you look at Vecepia and Sean as a duo, and then, Neela and Pascal as a duo, and for them to come together 6 episodes ago, we would have never seen it. It would have not happened. But now being able to see it, I think that reward with Pascal and Sean definitely helped cement that together even more so. It was so rewards were a big, I think rewards, like Frank said, were part of the episode because they were a big staple and why maybe they were able to develop that relationship.
Yeah.
Because Vecepia was the first winner to never go on a reward. Shout out Vecepia for struggling all 39 days.
And
no joke.
We are recording this on the 20-year anniversary of her winning.
Yep.
Survivor
How
Marquesas.
crazy is that?
So that's pretty cool.
Isn't that crazy?
I told Frank earlier that puts my life into such perspective. I've been living longer with Survivor than without it. That's freaking awesome.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy to think
about.
I was the same. I think I was maybe like 10 when the season aired. I remember watching it live when I was 10.
I was 7, so I mean,
crazy.
But
look, I have no nostalgia when it comes to these older seasons. I started later in the 20s and 30s, so I went back and watched them one time, and I was like, not for me. On the rewatch, it's definitely a lot better. Sit down and watch it and give it a better chance. Like when I rewatched it, I kind of like watched it. I was like, I just kind of skimmed through it and watched it. It was because I started where advantages were heavy and things were more fluid. And in these older seasons, it's more stick to the guns. Let's work together with our tribe and things like that. Right. So I think my first season was Blood versus Water.
I was gonna ask
number 2 with
episode 29.
Really? Natalie, so Natalie Anderson was the first season I watched, and you see how she played.
Oh, that's a good one to start with, though.
Yeah, so it hooked me right then, and then I kind of I didn't start watching every season until about 31. And then I started really watching it.
I was noticing how, actually surviving was extremely important in the older series.
Yeah.
Like the general was talking about how much he provides, and there was one point where he was trying to build something. I can't remember.
Oh, to catch a pig.
Yeah, to catch a pig.
Yeah,
he was doing that as a means to get people on his side to not vote him out. Today they're like, I'll starve.
You don't care.
You know what I mean? Yeah. That's not as important.
I think with this cast, it wouldn't be as important either. But in Australian Outback, it would have been extremely important. It might have been important in Africa. It would have been important in Borneo. But as it gone on, it got less and less and less important.
Yeah.
And we've seen
Scoopin did kill a pig.
Yeah, that's the only reason why he was still around.
Yeah.
It was because he killed the pig and was very a big provider for the tribe.
Yep.
Yeah, but
I will kill a pig.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah, he killed a pig and he killed it and then he wiped his blood on his face.
Okay, I do remember seeing.
Yeah, he smeared it. Yeah. Another thing, like this season, they stressed that I think that the elements were tough the first 3, but they didn't give them. They went back to the beach, but they didn't give them like shit for like supplies and stuff. Like they made it pretty hard to survive out in Marquesas. Like, and it was really hot. The mosquitoes,
Yeah,
like,
it was.
specific
The no-see-ums were apparently atrocious.
awful.
Jeff Probst said at one point that Marquesas was one of his least favorite locations because of the bugs.
Yeah,
And there was a shot of Vecepia's back at one point when she was cutting up clams. It was just covered. And there was no skin without bites on it.
Yeah, that would be awful. Insane. But they did have a lot of decent food resources with fruit everywhere. And it wasn't.
And the waterfall.
The waterfall, yeah,
like a shower. That was amazing.
That would be awesome, helpful. So you're not as stinky, and and they got a lot of seafood too that were easy to get, and they made a lot of food for that way. So yes, they didn't have rice and things like that, but the island itself had a lot of resources for food, more than some of the other islands we've seen. Like especially Africa.
Yeah, that was awful. They were so deprived in Africa. You basically like just see how hard it was for them to actually like strategize or anything like that. Like that season, it's more about survival. Like this season, we had the elements, but people were actually like playing the game for the first time, like we really saw. So I think that is obviously something that stands out, and that makes it's my favorite season out of the first 5 seasons.
That's what I like to hear. There you go.
All right, Amanda. You were very low on this season before we started watching. Does it change your mind from it?
It's still like I'm not going to say it like rose to the top per se, but I definitely feel better rewatching it again than I did on my first watch. So like when I watched it when I was 10, I don't really remember it. You know what I mean? You don't remember. Yeah. But rewatching, and then when I did my first rewatch of Survivor all the way through. I felt spoiler free because I didn't remember who won, and I remember watching it and enjoying it when I watched it. But as more seasons went on, it just got forgettable, just forgettable to me. But then rewatching it now a third time, I did enjoy it. I'm with James. I definitely put it at the top out of the first 5, and I'm not as huge on Amazon as a lot of other people are, so it might even be in comparison. So we'll see once we get there. But I did enjoy it. I do enjoy Vecepia as a winner. I enjoyed her win more so than Ethan or Tina's. I think I still like Hatch's win more. But other than that, it was a pretty well-rounded season. With a couple of slow episodes. But I think that Rob kept the pre-merge entertaining. And, the pick off at the merge was, entertaining in that sense for that time of Survivor. So I wasn't terrible. I couldn't force myself to watch like I had to with Australian Outback. So,
yeah. That was a bad season. I will stand by that.
I don't know. I think I just have still the nostalgia thing.
I have the nostalgia too, Danny. I like Australian Outback more than
I cannot stand it. It's in close to my bottom 5, if not in my bottom 5.
For me, the nostalgia stopped somewhere halfway through Thailand when I realized Thailand was going south.
Thailand is bad.
And then I was like, oh no, Survivor, this is not where you should have went.
I think 10 and 11 were pretty slow episodes as like a strategy.
Because we knew who was going to get voted out.
But I think we had in replace of that, we had 2 fun rewards.
Yeah,
which helped that episode not feel like a drag. Because if we didn't have those rewards, these 2 episodes would have been awful. Because it would just been like, oh, let's just get to the vote already. Mm-hmm. But we had 2 fun episodes, like with Sean and Pascal. That feast, the Marquesas feast they did, was pretty cool. The way they cooked
those. I miss those cultural rewards where they would let people go and spend time with the school children or eat a meal with the people of the land. I feel like we miss that when they stay in Fiji because you can't really necessarily be with the people of Fiji. It would just get redundant. Or you could change it up. Maybe there's a way they could go about it. But I do miss that.
I do agree that the older ones have advantage over
the newer. That Zoe and Tammy are sisters. That is the same nose. They are identical. Zoe and Tammy. Take a look at them side by side. It's scary.
They're
I
both.
tell you what, they casted a lot of interesting looking women this season with noses, because Neil's nose too is like.
Amanda,
I'm just saying.
I'm just calling out similarities. They're very.
I'm just saying. She's a pretty girl. Listen, I think that's part of the reason why I'm just like, this season is not very high for me, because I didn't really care for Neela that much during this season, and like the edit of her being like this perfect, like happy, well-rounded girl. That's not who I want to see at the final two. Like it disappoints me that she's the one. Like, and it's only because Pascal liked her. That was it. There was no other reason why. Just because she had Pascal as her duo, and like they voted together as a duo. And back then, before you realize you're supposed to break duos apart, they just let them be together. And I think that's part of the reason why it frustrates me, because like Neela, I just don't care for. I'm glad
I don't care for her either, really. For me, her, Tammy, the General, and Zoe pretty much do nothing for me. But I really do. I love Vecepia. I love Kathy. I love Sean. I love John, and I love Rob. So I think those 5 kind of like made the season for me, really. So there are some duds in the cast, but there's enough like great. Like, I don't know how we haven't seen Sean or like a John or a Vecepia ever return. Like, I think
that's like one of my finishing things I wanted to talk about, but you just brought it up. Marquesas is one of the smallest pulled from seasons.
Yeah, I don't get that either.
And Sean did an interview where he was kind of disgruntled. And the first time I talked to Vecepia was at, I think it was Game Changers. And I messaged her just to see if she would answer. And I was like, are you going to be on the season, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, no. And then Winners with War came up, and I asked her, and she said, no, they didn't even call her. And we started talking, and Vecepia is actually hurt that she's never been called, and hurt that this series in general looks at her. She feels that way to not have asked her back, but they've never asked back Sean either. And Sean's gone on an interview wondering why as well, because they were both. Yeah. She's the winner, and he was a huge part of the season, and they could have been great as a returnee.
Yeah. To me, I think they should have had. They should have had Richard Hatch, Tina, and Vecepia all on Winners at War, because it's the first winner, the first female winner, and the first African American person, period, to win.
Vecepia was the first African American woman to win any reality show ever,
and she's still the only one to this day as a survivor to win, survivor. Yeah. Yep. So.
Dre went out this season. That possibility went away.
No, there's Marianne still.
No. Oh yeah, Marianne. Yeah, that's true.
Marianne.
Let's go. We're on Marianne.
Yeah, she's probably gonna win. But like, to me, it's just like you got to have those core people on a big season as Winners of War. Mm-hmm. Now, Richard Hatch isn't the best person, but he still is the first winner, and for him not to be invited is kind of just a little like, eh. And then Tina, the first female winner, not being invited is a little.
No. Tina was invited and turned it down.
She got replaced.
No. Oh,
she was an alternate.
This is the word on the street I heard. So remember the Island of the Idols like thing with Dan Spilo, like what happened and all. Apparently they had asked Hatch before that, but once that happened, since he had that incident with Sue in All Stars, they didn't ask him after that, and they dropped him.
The damn thing was Survivor's fault, though.
New Skull winners. It was, yeah. It's not Hatch.
They handled that for sure.
Later. He should have been removed as soon as more than one woman complained about it.
Yeah,
he should have been removed. He should have been removed right away, and they let it go on way too long, and they waited till he did something to one of the production members before they removed him.
And poor Kelly went out with 2 idols in her pocket as a victim. As a victim of them. Like,
if anybody deserves a second chance, it's her. So, and she was playing good. So
the thing is, I don't even know if she would want to play because of what happened. Is what I've heard, which is unfortunate. But like you said, if she ever wants to play again, she should have a free ticket to play it
for sure.
Like a chance season.
If there's a second chance season, she should be called.
Very good. She was playing a very good game too. Like when that happened. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but that is disappointing. But Vecepia is like I think the reason why you don't remember the season so much, Amanda, is that Vecepia does get lost in the edit at certain points throughout the
Well,
season.
you got big characters. Well, I listen. Vesepia's edit, I understand. And I'll explain to you why. Because you have Kathy, who's just a loud, big personality. Okay,
I love
she
that. Do you guys love Kathy?
Yeah,
I do love Kathy. Yes, Kathy reminds me of myself, but Kathy explained it perfectly. She was like, there's Vecepia, who's a religious woman. There's Neela, who's a good overall, just perfect person, and then who's me, who's the businesswoman. And that's what she said. The businesswoman here to get shit done. You know what I'm saying? Like she went in and she was going to win. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think she did the right moves to be able to, and she just messed it up during the final immunity challenge. I think if she would have won that final immunity challenge, she would have won the game.
Oh,
Kathy.
Can we talk about how Nalia did that to her intentionally? I mean,
couldn't she ask to like she said her like bra or like her
Nalia
shirt?
said,
You
Kathy,
could be
your
fixed, and that's how
blouse,
she dropped.
telling her to,
Yeah.
and then Kathy looked. But I mean, when Rosie O'Donnell at the reunion was like, "Did you though?" Nalia smiled in a way. I was like, she knew what she was doing. She wanted Kathy out.
Totally knew
She knew Kathy would have won.
My favorite part of that episode is as soon as Kathy falls down, Vesepia's like, "I'll drop if you take me." Instantly.
That is so beyond her years when it comes to Survivor knowledge and deal making and what to do. Like those things like that is what makes her such a great.
And
like
it's
how
also
so
like
far beyond her time.
Yeah, have we ever seen anybody else do that?
No, but it's such an easy yes for Nalia too. Like all V had to do was bring it up, and she was going to agree to it. But I love like the balls on Vecepia to like pull
do
that
it right
off
in front of Kathy.
Yeah.
Doesn't
Right
even
in front of
hesitate.
Kathy.
Doesn't even
Did
whisper.
you see the look on Jeff's face? Jeff was pissed. He was like, "You did like you broke my challenge." Like what?
I mean, to me, they should bring back the last challenge to be an endurance challenge.
Hand on the idol.
Yeah, it doesn't even have to be that. Do some sort of endurance challenge. I don't even mind the ball one where they drop the ball into the time the balls. You know what I'm talking
That's
about?
more of a like the hand on the idol is like the very old school like staple final challenge, and now it's like the ball one basically.
Yeah, I think they should alternate through like 4. I think they should alternate through a few of them to give us a little bit of a variety. Maybe do 2 seasons in a row of the idol, and where the season previously can't watch that season, where they're filming 2 seasons, and then the next 2 seasons do another challenge. Where the other season can't watch the finale of the season prior to them before they go, so they don't know what it is. But and then this way we get to see some of the old school of it come back. So, that was one of my favorite parts. Was that him, her just saying that like the balls to say that in front of Kathy, like because what if she says no, and then you're burning, and you could be burning a jury vote right there too.
Did we lose Danny?
No, he said he'll be right back, so I just took him off the screen. But yeah, I loved it. I loved that part. What else stuck out to you guys in these last few episodes?
Sean, literally, I mean, until he got voted out, but I mean, he is just one of the most authentic players I've ever seen. Like he was himself the whole time. You know what I mean? Like I don't think I've ever seen a Survivor player like him since.
Sean, yeah.
There hasn't been.
Sean is such a cool guy too. Like I just
Sean, like we said earlier, it's a shame that he has not came back. And
I was very young when I watched it.
Yeah,
I remember like
personality for TV,
how great he was, but upon like the couple like I did a rewatch maybe like 2 years ago this season, and then the one last couple weeks since we started watching it, and I just loved Sean.
Yeah, real quiet, James.
Oh, can't hear you anymore.
You sound like you're in a fishbowl.
Okay, can you hear
there
me?
You go.
Better?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I said,
you have your hand over your speaker, maybe.
I said Sean is like the first time I watched it, I was too young to appreciate like how good he played, but he like upon watching it again like 2 years ago and then again now, like he's probably my favorite player from the whole season. So yeah.
He's definitely my favorite player from the whole season, and I would say Kathy and Vecepia are up there as well. And I actually like Pascal. I like Pascal and Neela's relationship. I just wish that they would have done more with it.
Yeah.
I think we got what we needed from them. To me, Kathy is the best non-winner out of the first 4 seasons. Me and Amanda we watched.
Yep.
Yeah.
For sure.
I think it'd be better than Kobe because
Lex.
Kobe.
What about Lex?
See, I feel like Lex kept shooting himself in the foot constantly, and if it was a better cast, he would have been voted out way earlier.
So, I think so if Lex goes to the end with Ethan, do you think Lex wins? Probably.
I think so. I think he would have won the game, but I think if you put like Africa's cast is really top heavy. It's like 4 or 5 people who are very good / know what they're doing about the game. The rest of the people there were pretty much dummies. They had no idea what was going on. So if it was some people that were like more intelligent, like Brandon literally voted with Lex for no reason and instantly went right home.
Yeah.
And if he was smart, Lex would have been voted out there.
Yeah.
So do you think? So you think Kathy would have beaten anybody like who got pretty far in this season? Because
I think so because they were upset.
Yeah.
They were a little bitter at Neela and
Pascal
and Vecepia. They were bitter to her too at the final tribal. This was a pretty bitter jury.
Yeah. Tammy went in.
Tammy was very bitter.
She was trying to get her sue on.
Into it.
Yes.
But I love how in the end, like after she got done, V kind of smiled like, you just told my whole game. She was like, you swear up and down that you're a Christian, but you lied. But I'm proud of you because you did it better than I did. And when she walked away, the smile on V's face was like, you're right, I did.
Yeah.
It's like, you're right. Yeah, you're a hypocrite for even bringing it up.
Yeah. Right. No, I feel like I really wish, like, okay, I know this. I really wish we see more rock draws. We've only seen 2. I love a good rock draw. To me, it's fun to see, like, you know, the 3 people who actually had to do it. But man, nothing will still top the other one. I'll say that right now. After rewatching it, it's the first one, but it's still not the best one in my opinion.
So I literally have like iconic memories from being 7 years old and like half falling asleep watching it with my mom and dad, like, and seeing them have a purple and a yellow rock, and like just thinking this is like crazy, like we haven't seen anything like this before. It's just wild. Like today we would never have like thought it would be that crazy, but back then it really was.
Yeah.
But I also
absolutely crazy.
I also have to state how important it was that Vecepia won that final immunity, the final 4 immunity challenge, because she would have been voted out then and there.
Like that was on my. I have a massive list of why Vecepia deserves to be a top tier winner.
Yep,
like
and that's
she not only
won,
like she won challenges when she needed it to,
and that's so important
to highlight her social game. The challenge that she won when she needed it was who knows the people around you the best, and she did. You know what I mean?
She also, to be fair, she broke the game by bringing in a notebook and writing everybody's stuff down.
That's smart.
Very smart.
And she brought that intentionally because she knew what the final challenge would be. So for her luxury item, she bought a book of her poems and a pen so she could write poetry, but she was just taking notes the whole time.
And they literally highlighted it, and they won't
they
let you
showed
do
on
that
camera
no
and everything.
They won't let you do that no more.
The people like deep down in this like community who appreciate Survivor, they acknowledge that she did that and how smart it was for her to do that.
And not only that, then when they're talking about the answers, when they find out that's what the challenge is, she's acting like she knows nothing when she has a whole book. Like it's like on the New Age Big Brother when you're trying to study with someone and you give them the wrong dates or act like, oh, I'm not sure what the day was. Yes, you do. It's in your poem book that you brought with you, Vecepia. You go, girl.
Vecepia.
So, do you all
has that poem, but she never sold it, right? She still has it, yes?
I'm sure. I mean, I would hold on to
I
it.
would hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
She'd probably get a pretty penny for it though if she wanted to.
Survivor collectors pay a lot of money for stuff.
So do you guys like the that challenge though, where you like have to remember stuff about the season? Because I love that challenge.
To me, as a viewer, I'd like it better if it was more catered towards the season itself. It's hard to follow because it's like we don't know whose kids those are. We weren't showing those kids.
Yeah.
We weren't told those kids' names. We didn't see those.
I
we did, we
like
see it on one episode for 5 seconds, and we're not going to remember that. So it's hard as a viewer to play along with the game.
I feel like I like the idea of it. If you're on the show and you're asking about people and their lives, I do like that because then it's like, did you get to know them? In the org games when we play it, it's really confusing because it's like on what day minus this, and like that's confusing. I don't necessarily want to keep track of like days and times, but factual things about the people you're with and whether or not you got to know them. I do think that is a good thing to highlight in a challenge. But I don't think
I think it works better as an in game than as a viewer.
Yeah.
It's just, like I said, it's just hard to follow because you're like, I have no idea.
Yeah. Another challenge they did that I missed so much in these last 6 episodes: nighttime challenges. Where are our nighttime challenges?
Yes.
The challenge that Kathy won, where she was running, the like trivia through the woods. He tells the story, and then they.
I think the last time they did was Second Chances, right?
Yeah, but they didn't do it like for years in between.
Yeah. They did it in Second Chances. That's where Kelly Wentworth found her second idol.
I think Fishback might have. Did he get?
He won that. It was a reward.
It must be hard to edit. That's the only thing I can think of is maybe for video reasons. Maybe it's hard to edit, or they have to rely really heavily on audio. And sometimes when you get 7, 8 people running around, and you know what I mean, you don't have the visual there, and you kind of rely on the audio and don't have that either. I could see it being hard to edit, and maybe that's why they kind of cut, the challenge, the night challenges. What I miss are the challenges that run for 10 hours. That you really, really want it.
Yeah.
That's the one. It's the same way Big Brother. Big Brother does theirs. I want to see them want it. Remember the pressure cooker in season 6? Like, how long can you last?
I really wish they did that more in Big Brother.
Season 6 of Big Brother, right? With Kaser?
Yeah.
Yes, we're big on Big Brother, big on Survivor. Yes.
I do think I love the simpleness of some of these challenges. Sometimes Survivor likes to be fancy with we gotta do this, then do this, then do this, then do that. Like, we had the simple as dive in for this, the last one to get it, you're out. And it's just quick, nice, simple, easy. I'm not gonna watch Survivor for the challenges. Like, it's fun to watch challenges, but it's like the fourth thing that I watch it for.
Yeah, I'm same. I like a cool challenge, but it's not the most important thing to me. Personally, I like a lot of the older school challenges more than what we see now, but
I just don't like now. It just seems every challenge is just like an obstacle course. It's like go into these ropes, cross this bridge, build this thing, solve this puzzle. And it's like every challenge goes in that order where, like he said, it used to be like dive down, get a rock. Here you go, fly a kite. You know what I mean? Like,
I think they should mix in a little bit more with the simplicity of some simpler challenges with the obstacle course challenges. Not get rid of them, just lower. We don't need to see 10 of them in the season, 15 of them with rewards too. We don't need to see that many of them.
Do you remember during Second Chances when they did the challenges, they were like, oh, this challenge was from this season. This person participated in this challenge.
I thought that was cool, though.
I wish they would do that. I wish they'd be like, okay, this challenge here, they played it in season 4, season 11, and season 25. Here we go.
Cool. Yeah.
I think that's cool. I think it'd be interesting to see who's a comp you like. You see other people from different seasons play. I'm surprised they don't do that more to tie older people into watching older seasons.
Yeah. Well, they did have the challenge in these last 6 episodes where it was a culmination of all their past challenges within their one season. I love that idea too, like a redo of all the challenges.
I think they did that the 2 seasons prior to that too. I think they did in Africa and Australian Outback, where they did little versions of each thing to get to that, which is cool. That. Which is cool. You see some people try to get some redemption for them failing in that challenge earlier. I do enjoy that. I did enjoy that too. I think, like I said, the first few tribals were kind of like, it's Zoe, then Tammy, then the general, and I really wasn't a fan of the general, so he stuck around way too long.
I wrote down the general is awful, and I mean he's probably a great guy, but just like watching him and as a player, like for someone to be like, I've said what I said, I don't need to say anything else. If you want me gone, I'll go. But there's like $1 million, and so many other people would like to be here. Like,
yo, he threw the biggest baby fit when things weren't going his way. I'm gonna burn all this wood because I got all this wood.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead, bud.
Bro, calm down. It hasn't even, you've been there for 4 weeks. Like,
yeah, come on, chill. Like so many people would kill the beat in their position to try to just fight and claw to get further in the game, and you're just like, I'm done. Da da da. It's just like, it's not a good look. It's not a good look. Like, and it's not like he's a younger guy. He was like in his 30s. So, you should be a little bit more on your level headed.
Wisdom comes at different ages.
Yeah, I guess so. But yeah, we get the only real twist and turn we get considering is Sean and Vecepia discussing flipping on Nalia and Pascal earlier. I don't think it was the right move for Vecepia. I thought it was the right move for Sean. I do think Kathy needed to win. I'll always going with the final 5. I feel like she needed to keep the general around to maybe help have a duo partner herself. But when she went to final 5 with those 2 duos, she kind of had to win out at a certain point, and she put herself in that position.
So, and she also felt like very, very guilty about being the split vote in that situation. Like, he was being so pulled from both duos, like with Vecepia and Sean, and then Nalia and Pascal, to the point where like it was earlier school season Survivor. Like she really didn't know what to do, and she felt like she was just in a tough spot because of it. But I mean, it also gives her a lot of power and a very good chance if she makes it to the end to argue her way to the win. But I mean, like you did say, if she did keep the general around and keep like something intact with him, she might have had a better path to the end. Now, like since it was final 2 and not final 3, like if this is final 3 and not final 2, she would have been making like a very perfect move. But since
I used to wonder if Kathy's better option would have been to vote out Vecepia and go with Sean to the end, because I don't know if Nalia, say she won that final 3 tribal and that they were there with Sean, if she would have voted out Kathy over Sean. But Sean had the blow up where they were like, oh my God, you're too much. And then so I don't know if that would have been an option, but I think Kathy's route to the end may have been better with Sean instead of Vecepia there.
I'll give you that.
Yeah, I agree.
I do think, see, the only issue with that is that who wins the Final 4 challenge? The real problem is that I don't see Sean winning that challenge.
Well, I think it was Nalia right up there with Vecepia, wasn't it?
Yeah, so if that's the case, it would have been a final 3 of Kathy, Pascal, and Nalia.
They would have voted out Sean,
and then it would have been Kathy voted out because Nalia probably would have won the challenge. I'm assuming so. That's all. I think her move. She should have made a move with Vecepia and Sean to vote out Pascal, and then she should have cut Nalia and then voted out Vecepia, and then she would have had a final 4 of the general, who he has no
chance of winning,
and then Nalia, which they were very bitter towards, and Sean, which they were obviously very, very bitter towards and very outspoken about as well. So in that case, I feel like Kathy has a really solid shot of not being a target at Final 4 or Final 3.
I don't know about the general.
One of Kathy's stories arcs too is like one of the best story arcs I've ever seen in Survivor. Like she's got a really great edit from being absolutely despised in the pre-merge, like despised. Like people could not stand even being on the same tribe as her, to being liked so much that she was able to make it all the way to Final 3. And the only reason why that I mean, if she didn't, let's say Mila won. I mean, do you think that she would take Vecepia 100%?
At Final 3?
Yeah.
Yes. She felt like she had a better chance.
Kathy?
No, I think
she knew
probably
how
did better.
Kathy. They both knew that Kathy.
They knew
would win.
Kathy had good
would win.
odds
Yeah.
of winning.
Yeah, she
So
had a good
I mean,
relationship with everybody.
she played a stellar game from being down in the pre-merge
Mhm.
all the way up
Oh,
to final
absolutely.
3, to where
Yeah.
either person wasn't going to take her because they knew they'd lose, that she would lose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wait, so
it's just
Danny,
like
were you? Hold up one sec. Were you saying something about the general? Like,
Oh yeah. I don't believe that if he got to the end, he wouldn't have won because their alliance of Zoe, Tammy, the General, John, they were very about themselves and about their group, and like that's why they were so bitter because they thought their group deserved to win, if not them, Kathy. So I think if any one of them, 4 or 5, however many there were, if any one of them got to the end, I think they would have at least had 3 votes in the bag.
they would have had some. Yeah, he might have had some. I just
and then
like
they would just need
personally,
one more.
I just don't think he played like a great game.
No.
Like I think Zoe and him played like a pretty bad game. Tammy played an okay game.
Zoe was literally like, "Yeah, I don't like you. I didn't like the way you looked at me." Like, you can't say this, Tammy. There's $1 million on.
And the thing is, it's not like she's doing that in front of the tribe, so she's like pushing her away. She did it one-on-one conversation. Nobody's there, so only one's hearing that is Tammy.
Oh, I did write down Zoe's making immunity idols before they were a thing when she tried to make everyone bracelets. Like, it's such foreshadowing that she didn't even know she was doing.
She created the immunity idol. She created it. Jeff took it right from her.
Also funny, or not funny, but I think it's so true. Like, I think John was the whole brains of that alliance. Like, besides once he went, there was no chance they could pull anyone else in because they just didn't have the strategic prowess to do it.
I think they had a chance to pull Nelia and Pascal in, but the general handled that situation so badly.
The challenge that's one of the biggest moments. That challenge and how it showed who the alliance was made the gameplay in Marquesas ramp up, and it's what led to gameplay that started evolving Survivor.
It's one of the
that caused them to flip.
Influential things in Survivor history because they you see the pecking order, the way they handled the chops in that challenge. And nowadays, or even in orgs, if you're doing that, you can't just give your alliance away.
You chop your friends.
Yeah, exactly. Chop the people you're with so people don't realize it. Don't be stupid. I mean,
it's crazy to see the gameplay back then versus the gameplay now. And the moments then compared to now. Can you imagine if Survivor 41 had a rock draw at Final Four? Everyone would be losing their mind, not realizing that it's already happened before, in season 4.
I don't think they change it to where the people within the tie, because now if they do a rock draw, the people that are within the tie are safe.
Yeah.
But back then, you were still vulnerable. You're not safe if you were within the tie. You know what I mean? When did that change?
I think it was after that season because it's only happened one other time, right? It's only happened twice.
Rocks.
Am I wrong?
It's hard to say when they would have implemented making the people who got votes safe. But do you guys like it better? They do it that way, or how they used to do it?
No, I think I like the punishment idea of if you don't change your vote, they're safe and now you're in danger. You know
I think we would have seen more rock draws if the 2 people getting voted for were still in the pool, though. I do feel like people would have took the risk with more people involved with the rock draw.
Yeah.
With the less amount of people, people get scared to take that chance. Me personally, I'm taking that chance and see what happens.
You're crazy, Frank. Not me. I will change my vote and vote my friend out before I go to rocks. No, ma'am. No, sir. No, ma'am. Bye. I'll see.
I've gone
the same way. I'm not going to rocks.
I'm going to rocks the first game I ever played with him when I first met him.
Yeah, me. Yeah, I went to rocks with 2 other people.
And my number 1 ally went out. R.I.P. Hector.
R.I.P. No, the game me and James. When I met James, it was a rock draw at Final 18.
18?
Yeah, and it was 3 of us. It was me, Allison.
Final 18.
and there
It was
no.
Broski,
You're crazy, Amanda. We got this. We're swapping votes.
I literally went into the confessional. I was like, "I hope you guys are ready. We're going to Rocks tonight." And they're like, "No way."
I had an idol played for me, so it was
This
an
was
easy
season 2,
decision.
broski.
Yeah.
And that's when Allison got rocked out.
It was me, Kenny, and Sarah versus Frank, Allison, and Daryl.
Yeah.
And
I'm guessing it was a joint tribal, right?
No,
Kenny
it was.
Mac.
Yeah. So it was. What happened was
Kenny
we
Mac.
started our original
Kenny Mac,
tribes, and we each voted out one person, and then they took half they took 3 people from each tribe and put them on 3 different tribes.
Yeah, so it was
3 and 3.
It was 3 tribes of 6. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we got on the 3 tribe, and Allison's like, we should just flip. I was like, no, fuck that. I said, we're going to Rocks. And she's like, are you sure that's the move? I was like, if we don't go to Rocks and we just vote out Daryl, we're next 2 anyways. And she's like, okay, if you feel like
18 is like what, 6.5% chance?
It was only 3 of us. It was only 3 of us. It was me, Allison, and Kenny Mac.
It was a 6-person tribe. Yeah.
Yeah. And so Sarah and Daryl had votes. And then Kenny Mac played idol for James. And so it was just me, Allison, and Kenny. And I was so wanted Kenny to be rocked out so
Kenny
bad.
Kenny is amazing. Sorry to digress again, but Kenny, hosting him was a nightmare to start off, but just general as entertainment, he is something else.
Yeah.
That is an understatement.
Well, yeah, I've gone to Rocks, I think 3 times. Never pulled that rock.
I'm in a fantasy baseball league with him that Robbie and Paul like host, and Kenny sends me like the most ridiculous like trade offers like every day. I'm like, no, I'm not doing your fucking stupid trade. Like, get out of my fucking DMs, Kenny.
So
let's play fantasy football with him next year.
Absolutely.
Oh, you don't want to? No.
Come on.
The trade offers aren't worth it.
I'll do it.
I'm gonna message him after this.
Message him after that and tell him that Amanda Bryan wants to play fantasy football with him.
Okay, I will.
Asked me today. Asked me about another stupid trade. I was like, no.
So all right. So the rock draw pretty much saves Vecepia in her win, I think, because if Pascal just voted out Nalia there, I think she might lose to Pascal or Kathy. I think
she would have lost next to either one of those.
Pascal was never gonna do that though. I mean,
but all he had to do was vote Nalia out, and I think whoever sits with Vecepia probably wins the game because Pascal had this love about him with the tribe mates. People respected Kathy.
I don't know though. I do kind of see Pascal giving a final 2 speech like Neela's did. Which, can we talk about this for a moment? This woman literally said, I did not start playing the game until day 24, and I got here completely by luck. Vecepia should have won in a unanimous vote. Unanimous.
This bitch literally
said, I didn't play until a week ago. What?
I got here by luck. Like, you're telling a jury who is trying to award you $1 million that you got there by luck. Yeah, good luck.
It was very on brand, and maybe that's what she was still trying to play up. But
she had to me.
It blows my mind that she lost to a 4-3 vote.
1 vote,
unanimous.
We could be talking about Nalia winning right now by 1 vote.
I think that would have been
one of the worst
awful.
winners ever.
All right. Look, she played better than you guys are giving her credit for, but it's not playing. She didn't play great.
Yeah,
she played a low. She was very vital in that switch we had.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just hating on her final speech.
Yes,
that's what I mean.
Without her, that move does not happen because she's the one who convinced Pascal.
Yes.
Now, did she play great? No. She played but she played better than you guys give her. There's been worse finalists, I think.
Oh, 100%.
So
back to the Vecepia thing. Like, Vecepia in some people's minds is regarded like a Fabio, and to me that is just
no.
That is just not even factual. Like, that's not even rooted in reality.
Look, I watched that season and I was rooting for Fabio, but he's not a good winner.
No. Chase should have absolutely won.
He should have won.
Yeah.
I don't think Chase would have been a good winner either, though. I mean,
I think Chase played.
No, I mean, but look at the options.
Yeah.
let's face it, you got lucky
I am
because
pleased to
two
see
people
when
quit.
I was doing like a bit of Googling about Marquesas before I did this with you guys.
Yeah.
And there is like recently in the past couple of years, like a huge push to get Marquesas seen differently and to get Vecepia specifically seen differently, which I'm all about. I think, like James said, and like now we're talking about it, and I don't know. I think the people that are diehard Survivor fans that give a shit about it, if their minds were the opposite, they've changed over time, which I'm very happy to see. The season and her deserve it. It's not. Is it the best? No. Is she the best? No. Is it? Are they both fairly good? Absolutely. So
yeah,
I think I'm glad in the direction it's going for them.
Yeah, and she, like you said, she was the first person. Like I think Vecepia did really good at the swap. She did really good with ingraining herself with the new swap tribe.
Yep. She was always on the bottom, always.
Right.
She was in the best spot out of her, like people from her original tribe that got swapped to the other tribe. She was the one who incorporated herself with those other people the best, and she did the same thing at the merge too. Like,
and the reason why Kathy wanted to flip wasn't like, yes, her and Sean were talking about it, but it's because people trusted Vecepia more than Sean. Yes. If it was just Sean and say it was Rob, I don't think we get the same results. I think they might have just been like, you know what, we don't want to work with these guys. These guys are too much for me. But Vecepia being so calm and level-headed, I think that helps make them okay with flipping in that particular vote. Not saying Rob was a bad player, but Rob was just so outspoken and just being so loud. Same with Sean at certain times throughout the season. But other than that, it was just I really enjoy Sean. Like the reward with him and Pascal was so fun. With him trying to get on the horse, he's like my boss.
I kept thinking there was something wrong with my audio because the way he says balls is like I don't even know. I tried to emulate it and I couldn't. It's like
he's so quiet.
Half of the word.
Survivor and the word balls, man. You know what I'm talking about? Like balanced like the platter. Oh. Tarzan's balls are separating.
Sean gave us great
commentary. I swear Jeff does that shit on purpose. I promise you, he does it on purpose.
It was we talked about the last I think it was the last batch of episodes we did, where it's kind of crazy to see that the same conversations we were having about diversity with Sean and Vecepia, we're having the same conversation in 42, and the fact that people are still having trouble seeing what they're talking about, just go back and be like, look, it's still similar to what happened back, 40 seasons ago, almost 38 seasons ago,
Vecepia is the one exception to the rule. Besides her, it has not gone that way.
No.
You know what I mean?
How many? I think we figured out, I think it was like three African-American winners. Vecepia, Jeremy, Earl.
Well, Wendell. So you have
Wendell and four.
Yeah,
four. That's right. I always forget about Natalie. She's not African American.
She's from
Indian, right?
Right, but she's still a minority.
Sure, yeah. If you count people of color, you have minority as well. You have Yule and
yeah.
Not enough. No. And now Erica, you have Erica as well.
Yeah. I think it's not the fact that we don't get the winners; it's the fact that we got 2 out of 16, and then 14 white people out there. That's what we need to get rid of.
Yeah.
Not and if the say, I don't know, Jonathan played sweet this whole game and he won the season, no one complain because he's a white dude. But we want to see more people interact with different cultures and different diversity of people. And that's what we want to see.
They have done a good job with diversifying the last
few seasons.
Yeah, I do. And 42 is proving more than 41. There were a few duds, but 42, it's very diverse, and we got a lot of good players from all walks of life, basically. And I love that.
Yeah, I love it too. So, but all right. So when you want to talk about this iconic reunion that you love so much, Amanda,
I know Amanda wants to talk about it.
Oh, the Rosie O'Donnell,
Brian Gumbel.
Listen,
so funny.
In what boardroom, in what in what phone call where were they when someone was like,
I'm gonna explain to you exactly how this happened, because at this point in time, remember
I
how
agree with Danny. Where did this happen? How did this happen?
I'm gonna explain it to you. Remember, Survivor Borneo had 50 million viewers. Okay, 50 million viewers. Australian Outback had the highest rated episode, I'm pretty sure, ever at its premiere. Like, I don't know, huge amount of numbers. So obviously, by the time Marquesas gets here, it's a little bit lower season. They're starting to lose ratings. They're not gaining ratings anymore, and they're freaking out about it. So what happened is Jeff wanted to host reunion, begged to host reunion. He wanted to do it, and they wouldn't let him do it because they wanted a high profile guest, which at the time they chose Rosie O'Donnell, and they also threw Colby in there because Colby at the time
was
a cutie patootie.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure he had won like a Sexiest Man award or something somewhere at the time in some magazine or something. So he was hyped in the news at that time. So taking Rosie O'Donnell, who's funny, at that point in time, America knows who she is, they're familiar with her, put her with Colby, and then get to the Survivor reunion where Rob is wasted drunk the whole time.
I'm glad Sarah brought her boobs too.
They literally talked to Neela 2 times more than they talked to Vecepia during the whole reunion. Mm-hmm. It's just little things you pick up like that you notice. But yeah. I thought it was just Rosie O'Donnell coming with Colby on a motorcycle is iconic and it's hilarious. I don't care what you guys say.
It is. It's definitely hilarious, but.
And the song they had that Rosie O'Donnell sang and made the whole cast clap. I'm living for that pain.
It's weird that Jeff just didn't host the reunions. That
I got nothing out of it that I wanted.
He was just like, "Bye, guys," and like left. What? Where are you going, Jeff Probst? Like, come back.
My favorite.
The only thing I wrote down from the reunion was that, oh my God, Nalia is 21. And then all of her reality of who she was made sense to me after. Because I don't know, I had her. She just seemed very naive and immature. And then Rosie said, "Oh, you're 21." And I was like, "Oh, now I get it."
Now,
not to say like 21-year-olds or anything, but for who she was, it reminded me of her innocence, kind of. I guess.
Yeah, and her upbringing, you could tell she wasn't struggling in life to grow up. You could just tell.
Yeah.
So
not at all.
So not saying that's a bad thing, but it's a different walk of life, growing up in a stable home and with things just handed to you in a way. Not handed to you, but like,
handed.
He's
to
more
handed
easily.
Didn't struggle.
Is this my favorite season where they had someone else do the reunion?
No, they had Brian Gumbel the first 3 seasons.
Brian Gumbel? What?
Yeah,
Brian Gumbel.
Oh well, then I would have taken Rosie. I'll take Rosie.
Yeah.
If it's Rosie or Brian Gumbel,
I hate Brian Gumbel.
I do. When Rosie was asking Sarah about like her boobs and stuff, that was funny. And Rob's like, "I'm glad she brought her boobs too."
I'm glad she brought her boobs too. Wait till I can meet Amber.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, could you imagine the reality where Rob ended up with Sarah instead of Amber?
So crazy.
And they have survived, and now like Sarah won All Stars.
Oh
no.
Oh, that would have been awful. I'm not high on Amber.
I'm sorry, Amber.
I'm sorry, Amber.
Amber.
No, look. We got a lot of firsts. We got the first flip on Alliance. We had it twice actually with Gabriel early in the season.
Twice, yeah.
And with John. And then we had the first ever rock draw.
The final one, Vecepia turning on Katie at the end. Kathy at the end.
Yeah.
Iconic.
Iconic, moment. I wish we could see. We never see a moment like that again. We never see somebody just cut like a deal as soon as somebody drops. It was like as soon as Kathy, she waited like 2 seconds. It's like, I'll drop right now and give you immunity if you just take me. And then she goes to Tribal and goes, "Look, she made a deal with me. I didn't make a deal with her."
Savage.
I mean, it's true.
Savage.
And you know what? That's the right move. And I'm here for it. I'm all about seeing some savage gameplay, it's my favorite. I don't care. Make people cry. To me, it's the best. I'm sorry. There's something about Broken Souls. Seeing people with broken souls leaving the game is just it's so
It just
satisfying.
makes you feel better, right?
Yes,
Makes you feel better about yourself.
that's the one thing
It's
that 42 is
cathartic.
missing is that people are so like, oh, it's a great move. I want to see people cry.
So the one we saw that was like kind of salty was Chanel, I think.
Yeah, but she had
But
no
like
idea.
besides that, like Hai and
Took it like a
Drea and
champ.
Omar were
All
very
took it
like
a champ.
they were all blindsided, but they were like fucking great move, basically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it feels like a new era of taking your Survivor blindside where
Yeah.
people are like applauding it. If I am ever on the show, you're gonna get old school blindside, just like want to end my life.
Look.
Stuff out of me is what you're gonna get.
Look,
I'm not gonna be like, oh yeah, good move. No, my dream's crushed. I'm gonna go.
Or the
drown
Michaela,
myself.
did you do this? And Jay's like, yes,
I did it.
I did it. And just stares at her. Oh, that moment's so juicy. I'm like, oh my god. Oh my, still my favorite all-time moment in Survivor is when Tony was getting asked. God, what's her name? I'm drawing a blank here. His number one. Oh my goodness.
Sarah?
No, no, the older lady in Cayenne.
Oh,
Trish, there we go. And
I swear on your father.
Yeah. He's like, for $1 million, Tony, was it worth it? And he just looks at her and goes, yes. Oh, it gives me chills every time.
See, that was great.
That's how
I
you
also
win.
think
Yeah.
what was great was like I kind of hate total like I don't hate it, but I feel like if the winner is obvious, the juror doesn't need to like just completely trash the person who's obviously gonna lose and just praise the other person, not ask a question. But Spencer's like final tribal in that season was hilarious because he compared Woo's. He's like, Woo, I compare your behavior to the behavior of a dog. Like when Tony said sit, you sat. Like
you also can't get more savage than Brenda knowing she's not voting for Dawn and having her remove her teeth.
Yeah.
That was crazy too.
She knew she wasn't voting for Dawn.
Yeah.
Take your teeth out though, and let America see your toothless.
What?
Who are you, Brenda?
Yeah, that was not a right spot. No, so I do miss the way they did the jury questions back then as they do now.
I don't like how they do it now.
It's like pretty free open. I like somebody coming up there with like all the bitter intentions and just staring at them and just gives them the fucking business.
Right.
And then they're like, okay, I got what I needed.
Well, see, I like the questions and answer geared more towards like a specific juror rather than be like an open total like discussion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you're on the jury, you're deciding who to vote. It should be personal towards you. Like the question and answer, it should be more like towards you. Now I feel like it's more just an open discussion and you might be swayed a little more, but I'd rather have it be more like specifically aimed towards one person, really. But.
And look, Big Brother and Survivor both need help with the jury section of the game. They don't need more Big Brother than Survivor, but we want to see specific questions from the jurors to specific people in the finale, so we could see where their heads are at, and you get better answers that way. Because just because I'm looking for something, you might be looking for something different from that person. And you won't get those
every
answers.
Survivor player's experience is different. It depends on why you like Survivor. You like Survivor because of challenges. You like Survivor because of the gameplay. You like Survivor because of the social connection experiment of it. Maybe you just like looking at everybody.
Yeah, so everybody wants something different, and I'd like to see everybody be able to sit down like this. I don't remember when they changed it, but they did. I think later seasons.
It will also give each juror a better idea on actually who to vote for instead of these generalized
questions.
I'm grateful I'm grateful that I got to do this because watching this reminded me of all the stuff that we've talked about, the jury part of it included, of why I fell in love with Survivor and the stuff that I really miss. Like they've gotten a lot of stuff right over the years, but that's one of them that's integral to the game, and it's right at the last moment. It's like for the winner. Like that should, I don't know, that should be done differently.
Yes, and it's an edited show, so like you can edit out anything that's not necessary. So
Yeah.
it's like more like it's like why like you could take 5 minutes or an hour to edit that to have a better show, in my opinion, because that's
Yeah.
what you're ultimately here for, is to give us the best product and to keep new fans and get new fans, is to have the best show possible and not to draw it out. I think this season did do a lot of good. We did have some little, like, to me, there's only a few, I would say, like almost perfect seasons, and those are the holy grail. There's only a handful of them. There's a reason why they're considered the holy grail seasons. This is not one of them. Doesn't mean it's a bad season, not to me, anyways. So, I do think we get some high moments and help pave the way for Survivor in future seasons with this season.
So that's what I love about it so much. Like I've said earlier, I just think it paved the way for a lot of future seasons. Not saying it's the best season, not saying it's the best cast, but this season is like very significant in Survivor history because of what happened. Like the game kind of changed like how people played it based on what like worked out in the season. And I think like Thailand, obviously we don't see much, like a pretty shit season, but like after the Amazon on, they kind of like adopted the Marquesas like strategy where people weren't just sticking with the same people. I know it's still like pre-immunity idol, but we did see people like playing the game hard pre-immunity idol after Marquesas, starting with Amazon because of Marquesas. So I think, this season's so important because of just like the strategy shift that resulted.
Vecepia, when you watch this, you should be proud.
Yes. You did a lot of firsts.
Thank you for giving us Survivor as we know it today.
Yes. Rob was a big part in that in the early season, voting out Hunter. That's why he came back so much. Sean was a part of it. He should have came back more. Nalia didn't play the best game, but she was a part of it. Kathy was for sure a part of some of these big parts throughout the season. And I would love to see Kathy play again, but she's probably a little older now, so she may not want to. She did play in All-Stars.
She played a decent, pretty good game until she ran into like Rob's like cult, basically. Which,
but I don't think there's really no age limit for Survivor though, so hopefully they do get some of those. I know the last time I talked to Vecepia, she said she would.
I would love
if she said her exact words. I think where she would if that's where God led her. So call her Survivor. I mean, just call the woman.
Call her. I don't understand.
Call Sean.
If like I said, she definitely needed. I feel like they did miss out on the first 3. Like it even brought Ethan back. The first 4 winners they could have brought back, and nobody would have batted an eye at Winners of War. They would have been stoked. You could take away some of the other winners. Not saying that they were bad picks, but like, did we need Nick there? Like he just won. We just watched him. Or Ben. We didn't need them. We would have rather seen
like Sarah or Michelle. Like I like them. Maybe would have rather seen a winner. I don't know.
I'm grateful for Michelle coming back. She showed out, I feel like, but
I love
before the season, before she had the chance to do that on paper, you picked Michelle over Vecepia.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, it's just weird.
A travesty is what it is. I cannot like Michelle. Do me and Frank on the same page with Michelle, how she doesn't even know what's going on.
Dude, I liked her in the Winners at War. She was good.
Go watch both her seasons. She does this action at Tribal more than anybody ever seen. Like she has no idea what's going on. Half the vote's like, oh shit, what's going on? I have no idea. I'm on the wrong side of the votes. What?
Well, she was on the pretty tribe for a reason, okay?
I'm telling you, there's a GIF out there probably out here of her doing this. Like she has no.
I'm a little higher on Danny than most, but I think that she kind of ran back for that season. I think they could have had Vecepia over her.
For me, I don't even remember that season. Like I need to rewatch. I mean, I kind of remember it. I mean, but Panama, I really don't remember.
Guatemala is a solid season. I will say that.
I would have
two
took
I've
out.
never watched are Guatemala and Palau.
Oh, Palau's great. Palau's
Wait, you haven't
But
fantastic.
I don't like Tom, so I don't want to watch
Who
Palau.
cares? Watch it for Stephanie.
Her story.
Yeah.
I YouTubed clipped her stories, like the best of Stephanie, so I've seen
Yeah.
her journey, but I haven't seen the whole season.
Stephanie
No.
Rosa is a top
Danny,
10 survivor
even if
for
you
me
don't
of all
like
time.
Tom,
I love her.
I know people. I don't love Tom. I think he's all right, but like my dad hates Tom, and he still liked that season a lot. So like,
Okay,
yeah.
I'll give Palau a go.
Yeah, it's
And my dad's
Palau's good. And then if you watch Palau and you really, really like it, Guatemala is like Palau Part 2. It really is.
Okay, then I'm good. I'm
Guatemala
happy that I haven't watched them. I'll watch them back to back.
Yeah, they're fine.
Doesn't Stephanie come back for Guatemala?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then she comes
And
back
Bobby
for
John?
And Bobby John.
Yeah. Okay.
Bobby John.
See, I know about it. I just haven't seen it.
Yeah, it's been a long time. I skipped. I'm not gonna lie. I skipped Guatemala. I watched Palau with her. Then I skipped Guatemala.
Yeah, when me and Frank met in our first org together, I told him I was watching Survivor all the way through, and I was spoiler free for like a lot of it. Like I think all of it. That at that point, I was spoiler free for all of it. And he was like, "I'm watching it with you because I want to know your first time reaction is." And he hopped on the train with me at season 10 and watched it all the way through with me, all the way until season 40.
Mm-hmm.
Because 41 hadn't come out yet.
It's good TV.
Yep.
Yeah, and then she
Even the bad season.
So we get the second chance, and she's like, and I love second. It's my number 2
favorite.
It's my favorite winner. Returning
it's up there,
season.
yeah.
So, and I love Jeremy as a winner, and she's like, why is Jeremy even here? How did she bashed Jeremy the whole season?
I didn't like Jeremy as edit that season.
No, he's good.
He was not my winner pick either.
I think he played great. I think he's one.
No, he did for sure, but I just had other favorites.
His game is so
Winners
subtle.
of War.
His game is so subtle. That's why I love Jeremy's game.
I wanted Tasha to win, but she didn't do enough, really.
Yeah, she kind of took a backseat.
Best season is Cagayan, hands down, my opinion.
I rewatched that recently, and I liked it.
That's the second best season.
I guess we'll
Cagayan and Here's Villains are my top 2.
Me too. I'm pretty sure those are my. No, I think I might have My Hernesia as my number 2.
That's also up there for me, but the one that's not is high for most people. That is very high for me is Amazon, because that's like my number 5 season, I would say, probably.
Matt just really weirded me out the whole time.
Oh, for sure. But so my thing is, I'm a huge Rob Cesternino fan, and I think he played the best non-winning game.
I think that's the best one-man show seasons.
Yeah,
all of them like
one was Samoa, was terrible.
Yeah, Samoa was just.
Mike was worlds apart.
It was just this is Rob carried that whole season on his back, but his charisma made it enjoyable for the viewer,
right?
Not because he had a good cast, but because of Rob. So. But I think that's about all. I mean, so this is your number 1 season, correct, Danny?
In terms of nostalgia and what Survivor means to me, 100,000%.
Okay,
I think there's a couple afterwards. Heroes versus Villains is high up there. I really like Game Changers up until Suri leaving. I really don't like the end of Game Changers. I don't like anyone really in the last final.
Yeah, Game Changers are all right.
I like Game Changers.
As far as love of Survivor, it's Marquesas.
I have heard that Troy Zan did a lot more that season, and he didn't get a good edit. I've heard that from interviews stuff. That
I could have used a better edit.
Yeah.
All right, give us one Survivor hot take before we get off of here. What's your Survivor hot take?
As far as you have to tell me what a hot take is.
Hot take is a controversial, not everybody agrees with you. You're gonna die on this hill, no matter who comes at you.
I love Russell Hantz.
Yes, that's a good one.
Hey,
All
that's
three
a,
of us
that's a
agree.
popular
I
take.
think he should have won
Yes.
both games that he played.
Yes.
Oh,
agree.
there's a hot take. You think
I
he should have
agree.
won?
I
I
think he
agree.
should have
At least
won
the
first
both
time.
games he played.
I agree.
Absolutely.
I think he definitely
Frank thinks
deserved one.
should have won both too.
I don't
think-
care.
I think he
He's
should have
done
won
some-
Samoa, but not Heroes Villains. I think
Me
Parvati.
too,
No,
James.
I don't
think
know.
Parvati,
Well-
Parvati should have won Heroes versus Villains.
Actually, if not Russell, then Parvati. Sandra should have gotten third, 100%.
Yes.
I agree there. That's all right.
But there's no reason he shouldn't have won Samoa. Like I understand what he did. Like he might have been an asshole, but there's no reason you could justify voting for Natalie, who just
Right.
rode his coattails. Like,
Well, there's
I
a
mean,
reason they didn't have her back.
yeah.
Poor thing.
To be fair, she did get a lot of heat. Poor thing.
Oh yeah.
She got
And that was
lot
what a
of heat.
moment. What was that? Whenever who was on the jury that did that whole speech about?
Eric.
Yeah, that was a moment for me that I always remember. So good for her either way.
Yeah, you're not going to get a hot take from any of us. We definitely agree. I think we all agree with that one. There's definitely a lot of people who don't, but
Yeah.
All right. So what's your hot? We'll ask you around. What's your hot take, Frank?
Okay, mine. I don't.
Oh, I have another one.
There's this. Like I have to rewatch it again, but I don't know. I think Heroes versus Villains like my 5th favorite season.
That's not. I mean, 5th. That's not like you still like it a lot.
Yeah,
It's not-
but like, there's a lot of people who would say I'm crazy because people like they think that's the holy grail. To me, it's not because the winner is a bad winner.
it's the second best season, I think. But I mean,
Sandra literally in her jury speech said flat out my goal the entire game was to get rid of Russell, and she failed.
Didn't do it.
And she didn't do it. And she said that in front of the jury. And the jury was so butthurt. Rupert was so butthurt that he's like, no, I'm not rewarding him.
I think there should be a clause in the Survivor contract that says you are not allowed to be a bitter juror. And I know that takes away from people having their own opinions, but the idea of jury management to me is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. You mean I need to manage a group of adults that signed up to play a game? No.
For $1 million,
I will
$1 million.
I will gladly lose because you're like, don't even get me started on bitter juries. If you're a bitter juror, go somewhere else.
Oh, I think,
Right.
Oh, hold on. I got one more. Rupert, Ozzy, Joe, they're all bad players.
Trash.
I don't like Ozzy.
Hold on a second.
I don't like any
Ozzy
of
has
them.
made merge every single time that he has played.
Because
I
he
like
wins
Ozzy more
every
than
single
Joe
time.
and Rupert,
He's
but
one-dimensional.
I don't care.
That's still good at the
He's
game.
one-dimensional.
I don't hate Ozzy, but he's nothing special.
He's not.
But I don't like Joe or Rupert like at all.
I don't like neither. I don't like none of them. I think they're
Ozzy
bad
can
players.
go.
My hot take.
Go.
I'll do one more. Yeah, my hot take leads into like what you were just saying, Danny. I think All Stars is a fantastic season, and I think it's just so they got the winner so wrong that like Rob should have won that game 7-0. He dominated from start to fucking finish, and it's like his win in 22, like Redemption Island, was basically handed to him. Like production wanted him to win, but he absolutely deserved that win in All Stars, and he should have hit the fucking floor because that is one of the most impressive Survivor games I've ever seen in my life. He dominated that game from start to finish.
Amanda, what's yours?
Well, let's see. One of my favorite seasons is Survivor Gabon. I love Gabon. I'm a huge Gabon stan. I think the confessionals are fantastic. I think that the characters are fantastic. I love the Sugar Shack. Just great overall.
Did you like
season.
Bob as a winner?
I don't hate Bob as a winner, and everyone hates Bob as a winner. But I think that for him being the old guy, he could have been a very, very easy pick. I think he was smart enough to make the relationships he had to make in order to stay into the game. I think that was the hardest part of his game was staying in the game. So I actually don't mind Bob as a winner. I really don't. And then my other hot take is I absolutely 100% believe that the Second Chances cast was 100% production chosen and that the American vote was fake.
I agree with that too.
100%. I don't think that America's vote had any play in it. I think they knew who they wanted and they made it all fake because there's no way America would pick a perfect amount of men, a perfect amount of women, a perfect amount of minority. There's no way.
Yeah.
No way.
Amanda, what have you done to me?
I'm telling you, it's fake. I had put this on Reddit. It's fake.
They should have picked Shane.
There's no way.
I believe that. You're right.
I just do not believe it.
Yeah.
You're telling me that Shireen got picked over Shane Powers? Bye. Yeah. There's no way.
To be fair, Shireen was on the season, like as is airing as they're voting for.
So that's was like, Mama C, and she
but a lot of people weren't a fan of Mama C. But I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
So what you said about Gabon before, so I agree. I think Gabon's enjoyable. My only gripe with it is I think it's like a Nicaragua level final three. I think the final three is just awful. Like if Ken or Maddie had won.
Oh, Maddie.
Would have been better.
Maddie Daddy.
Maddie. I love Maddie. Maddie Daddy. Yeah.
Yo, but Susie winning that immunity challenge at the end was a great moment.
Susie almost winning the game. Like what?
We forgot to mention this, but Vecepia's reaction to her win was amazing.
Oh,
yes.
I have it written down. Yeah,
I love that.
Why don't people do that when they read the votes and the people are like this? The fuck is wrong with you? Like, show some something.
Yes.
Yeah,
she threw her whole self on the floor, man.
Yes.
I'm not gonna lie, I'd probably be bawling my eyes out, like in enjoyment.
Whatever you do, don't act like the guy that just won Big Brother Canada. If you saw that,
I did not see that.
I
didn't watch Big Brother.
He just goes, "What?" And then he proceeds to walk out of the house the whole way, going, "What?" And then he stands on the stage under the fireworks confetti, and he goes, "What?" He literally said "what" like 50 times, and there was no reaction. And the host was like, "How do you feel?" He's like, he was just, it was awful. It was the best season ever, leading up to the most ridiculous winner reveal I've ever seen. He's a great winner, though. He played amazing.
Extinction Island, or not Extinction Island, so Edge of Extinction. That's what you're telling me.
Who won Edge of Extinction?
Chris Underwood.
Mr. Underwood.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, I forgot all about him.
Worst winner.
Ooh, there's my other hot take. I actually would not hate Natalie as a winner for Winners at War. I do think that Tony played way better than Natalie, but I think Natalie has a case.
You're voting for the first boot? Come on. Like,
no way.
Oh, no, absolutely.
Way.
Look, it's part of the twist. It's if she got there via that. She wore that fucking island out, bro. She wore that island out.
That's true. I'm such anti-Edge though.
Me
that
too.
Like I can't really like reward someone for being the.
It's not her fault.
If Natalie would have won that season, it would have been like a bottom tier season. It would have ruined the season.
I agree, and I like Natalie too. I think her first win was fantastic.
Natalie's my favorite female winner.
I did not expect her to be the first boot on that season at all, but I. Like
she was first booted, and she went to that island and she turned, like you said.
I can't get myself to vote for someone who's been voted out. That's
you've been out. Yeah, you've been out of the game. The whole social part of your game is out the window.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, my last hot take that I had, and I will die on this hill, like Amanda said. Survivor lost a lot of its magic when it changed from Final 2 to Final 3, and it should always be a Final 2. You took out an entire step, an entire elimination of the last biggest moment of the game. That's why there's no more Final 3 hang on to a thing challenge. Like you took out a huge integral part of the game and added a fire making challenge. I hate the fire making.
So I don't love the forced fire making at all, but I don't hate Final 3 over Final 2 because I think so say they don't have fire and you're at Final 4, whoever wins immunity is safe, and then you just do a normal vote, like a 3-1 vote, it's a Final 3. I mean, it's just like, I don't know, it's a Final 2, I feel like isn't that different than Final Three because a lot of time with the Final Three, there's one person that has literally zero chance of winning.
Right, so get them out.
Yeah, so that's why
Put them on the jury.
Or let someone win, but I don't know. I just hate it. You took out.
Yeah,
for me, it was like
that. I understand. I think it's a reasonable take. Yeah,
it will never happen again, though. The only reason, the last time it happened, of course, my favorite Survivor ever, Sari. The last time they tried to do it because of eliminations or whatever the reason was.
And she would have won easily.
She would have won.
No, it also happened in Cagayan, just so you guys know.
Oh, it did. They did. Oh, yeah, Wu and Tony.
Wu and Tony.
And it wouldn't have mattered though, because Tony would have beaten.
At Final Three, it would have been the same results if it was
Cass and Wu and Tony still would have gotten almost everything.
Winners at Worst should have been a Final Two. That's just my personal opinion. Winners at Worst should have been a Final Two, and Winners at War should have been back to the basics, like hardly any advantages. Just see who is the overall best player. And I still think it would have been Tony, but
I did see the thing is the advantages didn't really play that big of a part in Winners at War. I think it
not really,
not really, because like think about
Survivor played into Winners at War.
Besides the double idol play by Denise to take out Sandra, what other play really like affected the outcome?
We saw more like the big move. The biggest move besides that was when Tony took out Sophie, and Sophie had the idol in her pocket.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Are you watching Survivor 42, Danny?
Yes.
You love it as much as we do.
Yes.
I
think for the weird stuff that they're doing, first of all, the twist.
Weird stuff they're doing, You got to acknowledge that.
The twist. What is it called? Do or die, or
do or die.
Yeah. Oh, so
can
bad.
we just, Jeff? Can you leave it alone?
Yes, the final 7 vote is a very important vote.
But this is one
the
of the
most
best
important vote of the game.
Yeah.
See, one
of the best casts in a long time, though.
I have
sad to see the person that went last week go. If anyone hasn't seen it,
we've seen it.
Yeah. I mean, that was very sad, but I feel like someone else emerged from that. So
yes.
Yeah.
It's a great season.
I feel like
I wish a lot of Survivor would go back to the basics.
I think the basics will never happen, but I do think they need to dial it back.
Which I don't think that's going to happen either. I think Jeff is full steam ahead, changing it, evolving it, which is cool. I will literally watch it no matter what he does.
Yeah.
Damn.
But
that doesn't matter.
I just think we don't need to do or die. Get rid of that. Get rid of the hourglass twist. Please, and then
that is that is,
and then the season will be much better. Get rid of those two things, and it changes the perception of this season. It would be even higher on this season because that stupid do or die twist. It just affected. It didn't really affect the game. It just took up time for no reason. It really did nothing. It did affect last season's vote, but this season it didn't really affect it. The hourglass absolutely affected this season and last season's vote, which is I still it's the stupidest twist ever. Who's not going to take immunity to save themselves and they haven't been at the camp?
There is a way that you do not take immunity in this situation, and that is since the tribe is split up into two still. Okay, they're merged, but there's still two tribes or whatever they're doing there. If most of your allies are on the team that wins, then you're not going to flip the outcome because you already know you're safe because your allies have your back and aren't going to vote you out. So then your dilemma is: do I reverse it and save myself, or do I reverse it and hurt my allies?
I'm hurting my allies. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
some people don't make that move though.
But
and then they'll be like, "Why'd you do that?" I'm like, "Dude, I've been away from the camp the entire time. Why wouldn't I do it?"
So I don't see them doing the hourglass twist ever again because people know what it is now. I can see him doing the do or die twist again, but I think you've done it twice. You got lucky and it didn't affect the game either time. Let it go. Like before it messes shit up and you piss people off.
Like Danny, like now that they have like the negative feedback from it, like they didn't see anyone watch it between 41 and 42. So they were going to do the same stupid twist, but now that they see like how we really like feel about it, I hope that they would listen to that and not do something so fucking stupid again.
I wonder if they'll bring fire tokens back.
No, They won't bring fire tokens back. If they were going to bring it back, they would have brought it back. 42.
I'd rather have fire tokens than the fucking stupid hourglass or do or die twist. But
I agree, but I don't think
I don't think they're necessary either, though. No. Really,
just give me the auction and the family visit.
Fucking give me both of them every season. Give me touchy subjects
and give me the gross food challenge.
Give me the gross. Yes, thank you. Touchy subjects auction, gross food challenge.
Give me the rite of passage at the
Family
end.
visit.
I do not like the rite of passage. There's my other
Amanda, no.
I love it.
No, it's so boring. I don't care about all the people who voted out. That's what they're out.
I think it's cool.
Amanda,
my dad
must reflect.
I'm going to say all these fake things about this person so I can get their jury vote. No, it's so dumb.
My dad is like a casual Survivor fan, and he saw that and shit, and he's like, this is the corniest thing ever. Like, how do you like this? Like, to me and my mom, and we're like, my mom is like a super fan too, so we're like, all right, like, we actually really do like this. Like, I'm sorry if you think that we're losers for liking it.
During the rite of passage, when they had to do the tattoos on themselves, I think I was 14 years old, and I went to school, and I took a Sharpie, and after that episode, I remember covering my arm with different, like, there was one specifically that Kathy had that was like a circle with everyone's initials in it, and I did it with my whole family and friends, and they sent me home from school because I copied Kathy's arm on my hand, and my arm was covered in permanent marker. And back then, I guess you couldn't do that.
That's funny. But that pretty much covers everything we want to talk about. I enjoyed it more on the rewatch. I'm glad I rewatched it. It definitely wasn't a drag. Australian Outback was a major drag. I'll keep saying that to the day I die. I'll never watch that season ever again. Africa was okay. Borneo I really enjoyed.
We did.
So you like what? How would you rank 1 through 4?
Danny or
4,
me?
1.
All you guys, yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
4, 1, 3, 2.
Me too.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Really?
Yeah, just I don't know. I don't know. I watched.
When's the last time you watched Borneo?
Recently, but it's just the nostalgia part of it because I started in the middle of Borneo, so it's in my heart. As far as a good season, 4, 1, 3, 2.
I'll go 4, 3, 1, 2.
Yeah.
I just all right. We watched Australian Outback, and it was a struggle for us to even want to talk about it.
You know, Africa used to be considered the worst season. Do you remember?
No. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It used to be considered even
Has anyone seen Thailand who says that? I mean, come
on. Have you seen it, bro?
Have you seen Rob Denchen? Rob Denchen was pretty bad.
So bad. One World is pretty bad.
Stop
Kim's
it.
World.
But a good winner. But a great winner.
Great winner. Great winner.
Nicaragua is pretty bad.
Nicaragua is the worst.
It's close. Islands of the Idols is pretty bad.
I don't care for Ghost Islands. I like
Islands of the Idols is not bad if you take the bullshit out.
So I love agree, Island of the Idols. Some of the bullshit plus boring winner, like a lot of people just can't get really behind that.
Oh, I should have said this for my hot take. I think what was it? HHH is better than Ghost Island.
Yeah, Ghost Island is trash to me. I don't like the concept. I don't like anything.
I think Ghost Island's okay. I mean,
I really like the bottom 5 season for me.
I really like Dom and Wendell. So
no, I like Dom.
Wendell.
I can't stand the jury.
Dom should have won, but
can't stand anybody on that jury. I cannot stand any of them. They're like one of the worst juries ever. They all cried and pissed and moaned the whole time. I just didn't like none of them. I just don't.
Another hot take. I'm not super big on the Philippines.
I love Philippines.
Mm-hmm. I know. Everyone loves Philippines. I need to rewatch it. I love Pinner, so I need to rewatch it. But him going home, what does he go home like day 16? That makes me sad.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest Pinner fan either.
What? I love Pinner.
But to be fair, my first season I seen him in was his last one.
Oh well, yeah.
Yeah, I realize there's no
Look, I actually
nostalgia
have
when it
Cook
comes to
Islands
these older
pretty high
people.
up. I have Cook Islands as a top 10 season.
Cook
I
Islands
really
is good.
That's my nostalgia season for sure. I remember that season, watching it when I was younger from
Is
start
Cook
to finish.
Islands where they divided them by race?
Race, yeah.
For only like 2
I
or 3
loved
rounds.
it, and I see now why that's not the correct thing to do, but
Yeah.
the balls it took.
Yeah.
And
Could you imagine the backlash that they
could
did
you
it
imagine
now?
getting to the beach and they'd be like,
Backlash
if
from
you,
it.
like you're so excited, you've applied for Survivor, you get there and they're like, white people here, black people here, Asian people here. So, what?
You want to hear some
I don't
shit?
even
They were
like
gonna do
white
it again.
people.
They were going to do it again for season 14, and they couldn't do it because someone dropped out literally the day before the competition. That's why they only had 19 people. They were going to do it again.
But can we have a moment for the only time in the first however many seasons that Survivor was racially diverse was when they
We got a
literally had
very, we got
Yeah.
a
they
very
literally had
diverse,
to because of their
very diverse cast just because they had to, because they had to
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
tribes.
Good
I
job,
think
Jeff.
That season.
that like that's like the trashiest concept the Survivor's probably ever done, right?
For real.
I don't know. I feel like at the time in the world it might have made sense. In retrospect, it's very trashy.
Yeah, I think it's probably the trashiest, right? It's like the most like MTV type show,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't
I
know.
feel like
I
it's-
didn't really care for the what was the one where Pinner? I think it was Pinner where he started, where it was older women, younger women, older men, younger men.
Oh, that
Where
was
Serene
Panama.
started.
That's Panama.
That was
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't. I preferred the race one over the age and gender.
yeah.
Well, that just makes it like that. Just made it like unfair, really.
So unfair.
Right.
Like,
I didn't like
the race thing
the
didn't make it unfair. It was just very
haves and
like
have-nots.
racist.
I didn't
of
like
them.
that.
Yeah.
You give one tribe everything, you give the other tribe nothing. What do you think's gonna happen? That was
like I
dumb.
played a mini one time, and it was the drunks versus the stoners. So if you were on the stoner
I
tribe,
remember that. Yeah.
you had to smoke, and if you were on the drink tribe, you had to drink. And I was on the drunk tribe, and all of us were decimated one by one because everyone was shit faced, and the high people were just like real chill and like. So they voted out all the drinks.
Because all the original org games are they're all high anyways.
Yeah.
Nothing changes. Nothing, just a
No.
normal horror game. But thank you for joining us, Danny. It was a lot of fun. We did talk about a lot of variety, and Vecepia
Thank
was
you for having me.
yeah, it was
Thank you, Danny. Appreciate it.
yeah, it was
Anytime.
we quite enjoyed the season. We are gonna go to watch Big Brother 3, which James has never seen. I'm very excited. I would love Big Brother 3, so
I've heard a lot of hype about it. I'm excited too.
It's a good season.
Yeah, it's good. It's so much fun. It's older, it's a little slower, but there's great moments. Thank you guys for watching. If you follow us on any of our podcast sites, we're on Spotify, iTunes. Go watch on YouTube. Just give us a like, subscribe. It means a lot to us. Talk to you guys later. Thank you. Bye.
See you guys.